Hello, welcome, and a happy new year. This is the first episode in 2023. You will have noticed it, winter is in full swing. Going for a hike may not always be what you're craving for, and you might wonder what else can you do during the winter months in Cleveland. So I decided to take you on a tour to Playhouse Square to learn a little bit about the history of this place and what makes it so special. Now let's get started with some facts and figures. Playhouse Square is located in downtown, right in the center of the city. It is the largest performing arts center outside of New York City. There are larger single theaters in the US, but in terms of a whole theater district, aside from New York City, Cleveland is the largest. More than 1 million visitors every year at 11 venues are generating between 300 and 400 million dollars every year for the city of Cleveland. So it's a cultural gem and a really wonderful place to visit. On top of that, there's also the world's largest chandelier, the GE chandelier, with I think 4,300 acrylic crystals. It's a really beautiful site. I posted a picture in here so you can take a look for yourself. But yeah, when you visit Playhouse Square, you can't walk by without noticing it. It's so big, it's right across the whole street. Beautiful piece of art. Playhouse Square is not one single place. It's a district with several theaters, and the five biggest ones, or I would say the five most famous ones, are number one, KeyBank Theater with up to 3,200 seats. It's the largest of all of them. Followed by the Corner Place with around 2,800 seats. And then there are the smaller ones, Hannah and Mimi Ohio Theater, as well as the Allen. These five theaters are the five original ones. They have been built at the very beginning, but there are many more places. So there is Kennedy's Cabaret, Westfield Studio, Outcalt Theater. There are additional places being added every couple of years. So it's a huge district, and well, there's always something ongoing. There are shows, there are musicals, there are plays, concerts, cabarets. It's really a cultural gem in the city of Cleveland. But can you imagine a Cleveland without Playhouse Square? I think it would be a Cleveland without a soul. Yes, we have the museums, but they are a little outside. They're on the eastern part of the city, and right in downtown you would pretty much have nothing when it comes to performing arts if we didn't have Playhouse Square. And you might be surprised to hear that we were that close to shutting it all down and end up without any theaters in the Cleveland downtown area. The whole story started in the early 1920s. That's when the five original theaters were built within 19 months. So it was a rapid growth. It was the gold 20s for Cleveland. Everything was wonderful. It was really the place to be if you wanted to hang out with friends or have a date or just have a wonderful evening with your family. This all changed at around the 1950s, 1960s. After the war, there was television, cinemas, the general urge from people to leave downtown and live in the suburbs. And well, the theaters just didn't see any visitors, and as a consequence they were all shut down, one after the other. I think it took only 14 months or so to shut all but one down. The only one that was left open was the Mimi Ohio Theater, as far as I remember, and it all got really bad. Like, the theaters were not maintained at all. Vandalism took place. There was a lot of water and fire damage, and just nobody cared about it. It was like, well, it's a dead place. We have TV and cinema now. Like, why would we even care? And there was also no money. It was a total ran down area. everybody was convinced this is done and dead. There is no way to save this. Well, fortunately, there have been a couple of really determined people, and they tried to do a revamp of the whole theater district. They started a grassroots movement to save the theaters. And they were successful. It was a long fight and struggle, but in 1973, the first show was brought back in Playhouse Square. It's called Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and is Living in Paris. A little long title for such a show, but it was received pretty well, and it was pretty much the kickoff for the recovery of Playhouse Square. Now, it was still a long way, it was a big struggle, and it took until well into the 1990s before all the places, all the 5 original places pretty much were up and running again. So it was a long time effort, it was a long-term struggle, but Playhouse Square came back stronger than ever. I mentioned it earlier, it's 11 venue spaces now, and I'm pretty sure at some point there's also a 12th one that will be added. So it's a great cultural place, and thank all these people who helped save Playhouse Square and helped to keep the soul of Cleveland alive. It's actually considered the world's largest theater restoration project and arguably one of the most important successes in the whole Cleveland history. Obviously, COVID was another challenge. The theater had to shut down and had a very slow recovery when people were able to finally get in there again with masks, and then still testing and all that stuff. It kept the attendance rates pretty low, but everybody was committed this time that we don't repeat the 1950s, 1960s, and so Playhouse Square by now is back stronger than ever and will keep going. Now, one of the best ways to experience Playhouse Square is the season ticket. You will watch all the Broadway key series shows, and that's, I think, typically 6 or 7 shows over the stretch of a 12 months period. I think it's a great investment, especially if you have never done something like that before. It's a great way to get started into this whole topic. I did it last year, and I didn't have a single show that was a disappointment. I had some of them where I felt prior to going like, I'm not sure if that topic is really interesting, but they all blew me away. It was always a total joy to visit these shows. The good thing is also they are flexible, like you can swap shows and you can also swap your date. So give that a try. It's a nice gift, for example, if you want to surprise your partner. It's a really cool idea because you pretty much have 6 or 7 dates throughout the year where you guys will spend an evening or an afternoon together. Now, I understand if that's a little bit too much and you just want to try it out for the first time, then I have a few tips and tricks for you what else you can do. Occasionally, Playhouse Square offers what they call smart seats. Smart seats are only $10, so like it's a steal, right? For $10, what do you get these days? You have to watch the website from time to time, and then it will pop up. Smart seats are rare though, so another option is when they have big shows. Typically they are also offering free tickets. It's a lottery, so you just have to sign up. I think it's called Key Bank Lottery. So whenever there's a Broadway series show, then the Key Bank Lottery will be active, so you can win possibly a slot. Or if you don't win, and that code always works, you don't have to wait until you win or not win. There's a code called LUCKY, L-U-C-K-Y, LUCKY. And if you enter that code for a Broadway series show, then there are certain event dates typically that have some discounted rates. Maybe you won't be lucky and have to pull full price, but even then it's definitely worthwhile. So go to one of these shows, pick one and enjoy it. When it comes to all of these shows, no matter if it's a musical or a play or whatever, the dress code is come as you are. The most important rule is that you should feel comfortable, whatever you wear. There is no right or wrong. Wrong is only if you don't feel comfortable. So that's the only rule. The final thing I want to mention is Broadway Buzz. This is a free show. You don't need tickets for it. You can go whenever you want. Broadway Buzz is always taking place 60 minutes prior to the show's start. You will learn about the show's background. You will learn a little bit about details that you wouldn't even notice when you go to that show. There are some like insider gags or insider knowledge that will help you to understand the show that you're about to watch much better. And Joe Gary is a master in telling stories, so there's always something interesting, and he's a wonderful character and one of the people, by the way, who helped saving Playhouse Square in the 1960s, 1970s. So he is very committed to this place. He's over 80 years old now and he's still doing the Broadway Buzz for every single Broadway show that takes place here in Cleveland. So it's amazing to me. This man is brilliant, full of energy. He just recently was awarded with a Lifetime Award, and I couldn't think of a person that deserves that more. So it's about 30 minutes of your time to get prepped for that show, and definitely do it. It's free of charge, so all you have to do is go to the Upper Allen. If you don't know where that is, just walk into one of the theaters, and the redcoats will guide you along. So you just ask Broadway Buzz, Upper Allen, they will know where it is. So do yourself a favor, give it a try. Even if you don't go to the show, check it out, it's pretty cool. I found a website where they have a lot of old Broadway Buzz recordings, and you can pick one of the shows that you may want to attend, because Broadway series sometimes repeat themselves, like Lion King, for example, or Wicked. And these two shows, for example, are part of the recording archive. So just check them out yourself. You'll see Joe Gary and the way he presents it, and decide on your own if that's worthwhile for you or not. But I think it's a great investment of your time to prepare a little bit for the show and just get it's just more immersive than when the show starts and you have all this little background knowledge. It's really valuable. Well, and if you say I'm not so interested in this pre-show talk, well, then there are tons of restaurants and bars right around the corner, so there's always something to do prior and after to the show. So you can easily spend a whole day or half a day in this area. You'll have plenty of things, and especially during the winter it's pretty nice because parking is close by and you can hop between these different places without getting too cold. And that's it. I hope you liked it. I could talk for another hour about Playhouse Square, but the best experience is the real experience. So next time you're a little depressed, look out of the window and say, Cleveland winter sucks. And yes, sometimes it does. Check out Playhouse Square, check out the website. I'm 99% sure on that day there's also a show. Get a ticket and treat yourself. It's an amazing experience and I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. So with that being said, I wish you a wonderful day and hopefully see you soon to the next episode. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.